Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 31st, 2017, and you are listening to 3 Geeks Senate. The Senate is now in session. Hi, my name is Brian J. Cano.
And I am Robert Bukszar.
And in the ether somewhere is Paul Bradford. He's taking his girls to... Where did he take them to?
Kings Island, I believe.
Kings Island. Oh, he's busy having fun at an amusement park, and we're working?
Yeah, bastard.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have to have words with him. We can't deal with this.
Hey, well, actually, this is a good chance for us to have discussions about things that he would argue with us against. So now it'd be like, hey.
Yeah. Always got his sensibilities, his British sensibilities, kind of pulling us over to the other side.
Although I will say, I guess, even though it's a podcast and silence is the enemy, we should give like a brief moment of silence to one that we lost last week, and I'm referring to Sir Roger Moore.
Absolutely.
My first James Bond, your first James Bond, Paul's first James Bond.
Yeah.
Man, that guy, he was the first actor that I was exposed to that played James Bond, and the white tuxedo, and always smiling, always proper, yet always classy and funny, and always moving.
Yeah, here's the guy Roger Moore, he did James Bond his way, and as each character, as each actor embodies it. But he really was like the James Bond I grew up with. Even though I did have the chance to be exposed to Sean Connery. Roger Moore was of the 70s. I believe it was the 70s and the 80s. I think, or the early part of the 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Especially since he was our first Bond, regardless of who the best Bond is, or who everyone's like, oh, Sean Connery's the best Bond. It's like, hey, that might be so, but he was, when I finally got exposed to him, I would compare him to Roger Moore. So it's obviously, your first will be the guidepost that everyone who comes after will be compared to and judged against.
Right.
And, look at all the Bonds we've had over the years. It kind of is what it is. But to me, there's always a place for Roger Moore because he was the first.
Oh, absolutely. That's the guy. The movies that, he made, I said it still is going to be always one of my favorites just because of the experience I had with it with A View to a Kill. And, the day that he passed, me and you kind of exchanged message, and the fact that you had just watched that movie, and the fact that it just had so many, I think it was the perfect embodiment of his run as James Bond, just in my opinion.
It was a weird thing too, because I see, I flip around cable daily and there's always a James Bond movie on, and Roger Moore movies are on a lot, but that night, I just felt like, I need to leave it on the channel and watch it because it's been forever since I've seen it. Totally ignorant of the fact that in a couple of hours, we'd lose him.
Yeah. The thing is, he hadn't been in the light for a long time, and it's crazy because the way that I feel, even still, it's just like, anybody that plays James Bond, you don't expect them to really ever really die in real life.
Yeah.
It's like they just feel like they're immortal. And
he's the first Bond to go. Even George Lazenby's hanging around.
Yeah. Well, he's going to hang out for a while. I think he's going to try and get as much as he can. I think he'll try and make a call back to maybe his movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service, eventually trying to get some revival of it. But it's true. He's the first one to go, and it's just a weird thought, even just processing it. I was at work, and it's trying to process it. My dad texts me, and that's my dad brought me into James Bond. He grew up with Sean Connery and stuff, and he introduced me to it as a kid. And to get that message is just kind of weird. It's kind of like having that moment where both of you kind of recognized that kind of an idol is gone.
Absolutely. So even though we posted it last week when it happened, for this podcast now, a brief moment of silence for Sir Roger Moore. And we're back.
Hey,
Because again, podcast and silence is just weird. But
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody listen to it be like, oh, what just happened there? Did it cut up? No, we're good.
Did we lose the signal?
It's in memorandum.
But Bond is actually a good way to segue into our next topic. I mean, when you talk about how many actors have played James Bond, we've touched upon this before. There have almost been as many now who've played The Dark Knight, Batman.
Gosh. Yeah, absolutely.
And just like Sean Connery, for many, a lot of people, their first Batman was, his name escapes me. The guy on Family Guy. Adam West.
Yeah, Adam West.
Wow, I just had a senior moment for a second.
It's okay. It's
like fine. Brain cells are dying.
Every day.
Every day.
But yeah, I mean, that's like for me. I mean, I even though you've got like a year on me, 2 years. But I mean, just
that makes the difference, old chum.
Oh yeah, old chum. But it's just the idea of the Batman that I knew was the Adam West Batman, the 66 Batman, just, but the live action version.
Right.
And, but then nothing will really compare to that. I mean, just the campiness of that alone was just absolutely fantastic. It just draws you in. And it was very much the embodiment of kind of like that cartoon.
It really was like a
version.
Cartoon. Because I remember coming home from school and, like I would turn on the TV and I'd watch some cartoons, and usually Batman came on too. So it was very, in addition to being cartoony, it was aired alongside and just after actual cartoons. So it was seen in that in that light.
Yeah, I mean anytime you have a show that is bright and it just embraces the campiness. And you have automatopoeia every time you punch somebody. Boom, bam, pow.
Pow.
I mean, but one of the things that just sticks with me is from the movie, the Batman movie. I don't know why.
You mean
the bat shark repellent.
See, for me, the thing that sticks out from that one that I always remember is some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Like Batman, he's this guy in tights running around in broad daylight with a round bomb with the little fuse sticking out of it on fire.
Absolutely the epitome.
Like he tries to throw it, he tries to go one way, and there's nuns. Oh, he's got to run the other way, and he's going to throw it in the water. Oh no, there's ducks in the water. I can't get rid of it.
That there's a wick on this bomb, and he's running around holding it over his head. Just with the look of fear, like he's not going to get rid of this thing. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
It's one of those cartoon bombs. It probably has it says TNT on the side, or doesn't it say something like it's labeled bomb?
Yeah, I mean that's if I'm going to have a bomb, that's the type of bomb that I want to use.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's definitely trustworthy.
Like, forget the wires and the C4 and everything.
Right.
I want a round Mario Brothers looking bomb. Right. That, how are you going to defuse this? You're not. It's like...
but that thing right there, just move it. But the thing is, that version of the character, it didn't really represent, the comic book version of Batman. Like, the comic book version of Batman was very much a detective at the time. So it's weird that they took it and then they turned it so camp.
Well, it's almost like that's the Batman you would see on Scooby-Doo or maybe Super Friends, where they're just kind of hanging out in a room going, hey, there's a crime about to happen. What should we do?
Scooby-Doo. I think it was in Scooby-Doo at one point.
Oh, yeah, Batman definitely was in Scooby-Doo, but it was that campy, come on, chum, there's a mystery to solve, and let's join these kids.
The Hanna-Barbera version of Batman, I think. But
it's like, I'm the world's greatest detective, but a preppy, 2 girls, a stoner, and a dog, they can help us on our case.
Yikes! Come on, Batman, let's go. No, but that's the thing. It's I just thoroughly enjoyed that character. I enjoyed everything that it was about it, as far as the embodiment of that goes. But then you do move on to the what was it after that? The next version we had was Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, and I remember there was so much skepticism because he was kind of a comedic actor, so to say. And there was the rumors at the time that Bill Murray might be Batman.
Oh, I don't recall that one. That's a good one.
It was going around, but I mean, even just commenting on that, look at the movies Bill Murray has done lately. The man
Right.
has serious acting chops, and I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think he ever got due credit for it. But at the time, we're talking Meatballs, we're talking, Ghostbusters, we're talking like all those comedy movies. So they didn't see, and obviously the physique and hair, and who knows in an alternate universe maybe Bill Murray was Batman, but Michael Keaton has
Yeah.
this. I don't want to say insanity, but he's got an edge to him. He's just got an edge, like, especially in that one scene where Bruce Wayne confronts the Joker, and he's like, "Oh, you want to get nuts? Come on,
Yeah.
let's get nuts."
No, but that never
You
made
believe
sense.
it?
I mean, it seemed just so wacky for him to make that jump suddenly to the "let's get nuts" scene, and I think that may have been turned into a meme or something like that. But I've seen it over the years. Just people revisit that whole "let's get nuts" scene. It seemed like an odd insert suddenly into the movie. But I mean, the movie itself, I mean, it turned out well. Again, it didn't fully embrace the campiness of it, but it added a small level in the darkness, and that whole
Burton
alter.
is dark, but Burton also has a little bit of camp, and I've noticed this recently because, all right, since then we've had a few other actors play Batman. We got the Joel Schumacher 2 Batman movies, which were just, I don't know, personally I didn't care for them. We got the Christopher Nolan brilliant trilogy of really reality grounded Batman, and now we've had the Ben Affleck Batman, which is kind of almost a different feel, but then we go to TV where we have Gotham and we see Bruce Wayne, Batman in the making. And lately, I don't know if you've noticed it, but over the past season or so, I feel a lot of Burton-esque elements creeping back into this franchise.
Oh, they have definitely embraced, like, it's just gone wacky. It's kind of gone off the rails a little bit, but in a good way. Like, just bringing in, just to suddenly have like this whole ensemble of the rogues gallery of Gotham City, just so early on in the Batman mythos,
predating the Dark Knight himself. And actually, okay,
right.
For those of you who are listening, we're about to talk a whole bunch of Gotham stuff. So if you're not caught up from this point on, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert! We're about to we're about to blow some shit up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the thing. It's this season. Well, I say actually last season, season 2, really turned. It really turned the tone of the show. Like the first season felt like it was very, they were on this path and they were trying to tell like this independent story, and they weren't really trying to embrace, the villains and kind of that aspect of Gotham. And then season 2 just went, fuck it, we're all in, and we're going to change it. You're going to get a proto Joker. You're going to get nods to Batman the Animated Series. You're going to get, and then they start just throwing in all of these things, just these fantastic things, and it's crazy in a good way, I think.
I mean, here we are at the end of season 3. Season 3 is about to end next week with a 2-hour season finale, and it's the one. And again, I'm still enjoying it. I like it. When Gotham first came on, it was really supposed to be the story of Detective Gordon.
Correct.
How he came up and his arc and how he becomes commissioner, and just Gotham, how it became the way it was when we first see Batman, who has to clean up, as things have gotten so bad that the city needs its protector. And now we're hearing we're hearing that language in the show with the sensei saying, "Okay, Bruce Wayne, you will be the hero that Gotham needs. Gotham must fall." And I'm taken back to Batman Begins with
right.
Ra's al
Ra's al Ghul, yeah.
And they keep mentioning another person. Oh, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
Yeah.
And I feel it's going to be him.
That's what I feel, because he talks about the demon's head. And Ra's al Ghul, though, I think that is supposed to like have deal with like the son of the demon, or it translates into something to do with the demon, or because he refers to the demon head.
Right.
And I absolutely feel that. I mean, I feel that that's the way that they're going.
And they because of this shift, it's now not that it's less of Jim Gordon, but now we're like, yes, we've got Bruce Wayne. He becomes Batman. We're going to address this, or at least we're gonna start moving this along. But my only criticism at this point, at the end of season 3, we'll be going into season 4. I feel like we're just moving pieces around the board because none of these characters, they all have to survive to the Batman years. So Penguin, Riddler, soon to be Joker, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, like all these characters, make it. So there's not a lot of, nothing is at stake because how many times has Penguin gotten killed? How many times, like even characters not in the comic, like Fish Mooney, how many times do we have to kill this broad?
Right. And I mean, she even acknowledges the fact that she's like, I was alive, then I died, and then I was alive again, and that was just a fantastic. It's like
these characters die and come back more times than the Winchesters, so it's like.
See, again, I kind of get the reference. I don't watch Supernatural regularly. I've caught it here and there.
They're on season 12. They're going into season 13, so they've had some traction. But this is Gotham. They're ending season 3, and already so many characters have died. And
all right. So let's see. Just in this season, I mean, we've had Ivy Pepper, who went from being a kid and she aged forward. And I kind of question what their motives were in that, and just trying to put somebody seductive on the screen, or if they did it for character development. I don't know the exact motive.
My guess would be the first. It's like, okay, hey, we've got this kid, and okay, it is what it is, and maybe the actress is in school, and maybe there was some behind the scenes, like, oh, how are we going to do this? And she's not a character that we could do much with. Oh, but if she ages suddenly, and we have an attractive model playing her, that's the thing.
It's like Poison Ivy, who she eventually becomes. She hasn't donned that moniker yet, but she was very seductive. She used her ways to be able to seduce people, and even using plants and stuff like that. I mean, she has control and manipulation over that. So it's like, when is she? Are they going to embrace that part, or are they just going to allow her to kind of maintain kind of the level she's at right now?
I feel like they're making nods to origin stories, but they're kind of also leaving it out. Like when Catwoman, all right, Selena gets knocked out of the window.
Oh, they went straight Batman Returns.
Just
on
like Batman Returns, she gets knocked out of the window. The cats come along. You don't see her get revived. She doesn't get up. She ends up in the hospital. So all right, what happened?
But that was a 100% nod to Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman being knocked out the window. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But that's not really exactly how she came to be. That was very Burton-esque. That was his idea towards it, where she was kind of reborn of the 9 lives and became Catwoman. But just having her, then having Hugo Strange in the last season, him creating characters like you see in Basil Karlo, who was Clayface, and then they bring him into this season. But unfortunately, it's like the Clayface that I like is the Clayface from the comic book and the Batman the Animated Series, that big hulking globule monster that is just.
Doesn't Clayface kill one of the Robins, or wasn't there some kind of story? I forget one of the storylines. There was like some big storyline involving Clayface.
I don't think he didn't kill one of the Robins. The only one to kill a Robin was the Joker.
That was Death in the Family.
Death in the Family, yeah, and that was Tim Drake, Jason Todd. I think it was Jason Todd, but Jason Todd didn't. In the DC comic world, they found a way to bring him back, and now he is the Red Hood.
Oh, right, the Red Hood.
Yeah, which is not like the villain Red Hood. He is a more kind of an anti-hero, or not an anti. What do they call it? When they're a hero, but they're not exactly a hero.
Unemployed.
Kind of, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like, so they all find their way back into it, but.
Is Hugo Strange in the comics?
Yes, he very much so is. Yes. He's he's Hugo. He looks B.D. Wong. I think that's the actor
B.D. Wong. Doctor Strange.
He does. Yeah, they dance around that. They don't really bring that into it.
Doctor.
Yeah, Doctor.
And ironically, B.D. Wong also plays the geneticist who engineers the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. So
He
this
just does
guy's
a
making
great job deconstructing
he's
and
typecast as the monster maker.
Absolutely. But that's the thing, is like he does a great job.
He does.
I mean, he looks just like the comic book version.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he looks very. I mean, even to the little pencil thin beard coming down the side and the circular glasses. He does such a good job at it.
Because he's like, and especially in the past few episodes, he seems to be doing his best George Takei impression. It's like,
you just wait for a second.
Jim Gordon. Oh my! You'll never find my creations, Jim.
Maybe that's where you put. Maybe that's. I never really put that together. But
San Francisco. I was born there.
So you're going to be able to pull all the Star Trek stuff. I have it in my brain. I just don't have access to it like you do. But let's see. So I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. So just going in season. So season 2 we had Jerome, which was which was turned into, and they still don't want to call him that, but the Joker, like the pre-Joker.
Well, when that character got killed, I figured, oh, okay, that's not the Joker. And then they sort of brought him back, and then they brought him back, and I don't remember if I was satisfied. I think I'm satisfied again, because I was satisfied, then I was annoyed, then I was like, oh, okay, this can work.
But see, now the thing that's kind of good about this is, like, so DC Universe, as far as comic books go, you had a lot of people in an uproar about, the Joker never really had an identity. He never had.
Like you never knew his secret identity, like who he was.
He was this guy who took over. Now, this is when the Red Hood was the villain, and they alluded to this in the Gotham TV series, I think in season 1, where just an individual would wear a red hood. Well, he gets kind of put into a situation where they're kind of manipulating him. He gets knocked into a vat of acid by Batman at the Acme Chemical factory, and voila, we get the white-skinned, green-haired Joker.
Right.
But this version kind of gives him origin as a kid, that's just really screwed up.
And he was one of like several that Galvan recruited, kind of gave some money and purpose and power to, or that he just ran with.
Right. I forgot about Galvan.
Yeah, Galvan, who died, became Azrael, who in the comics took over for Batman when Bane broke his back.
Right.
Which is an interesting.
I'm thinking that he wasn't like the permanent version. I think somebody else would pick up that mantle, but
probably.
But just the idea, like, so they've acknowledged that this Bat universe isn't exactly Earth 1.
But what I love actually about the Gotham TV, Gotham City, is that, and especially in this last episode that just aired, Pretty Hate Machine, the episode starts and you see an exterior of buildings, and we go inside and it's the Court of Owls. The exterior is Snug Harbor, which is on Staten Island. And I can't tell you how many times I watched the show and I'm like, oh, Staten Island, oh, Staten Island, Staten Island, oh, that's Staten Island, oh, that's Brooklyn.
See, you get all the cool nods.
So I live in Gotham City.
See what you you bastard.
So I got to be careful walking the streets.
Well, see, the thing, like, it's weird that they use some. I'm surprised they didn't go with Chicago, because traditionally, Chicago
Metropolis
has been the backdrop.
Metropolis is New York.
Right.
Gotham was Chicago.
Right. So, but it's still. But what you do is just every time you think that they're filming an episode, just kind of go by and you'd be like, all right, just make your presence known. Just kind of wave and they go, hi ho.
I'll just be in the background.
Brian Channel here.
Hi ho. But it's like, and actually you see it online a lot. There's constantly casting calls for Gotham, and I'm always I'm never home. I'm never home for it, and then B, the times that I could be there, it's like wanted, club goer, lots of tattoos, and this and that. I'm like, yep, not me.
Yep, I can't pull that one off.
Not me.
Yeah, that definitely I couldn't pull that off either. But that's the thing; it would be cool. That's what I think. I think me, you, and Paul had talked about should try and just arrange it, and maybe season 4.
Get a walk on or something.
Yeah, Maybe just, well, I don't know, walk on just while they're filming, just kind of jump in scene,
This is a
see if they
background.
keep it. Be like, that's golden. You don't want to throw that away.
So yeah, at least like I've been trying to do that with Supernatural for years because
Hmm.
I've John Zaffis was a big Supernatural fan. He got
Hmm.
me into the show,
Yeah.
and I'm like, Zickety, come on, man! Like you're John Zaffis, get on the show and bring me with you.
Right. It's like, yeah, yeah, don't leave me behind, please.
Just like I want to be in the scene. That's how Ghostbusters happened. When I
Yeah.
worked in advertising, my office or where I sat
Hmm.
overlook. It was right below Canal Street, and my window, I could see the Ghostbuster firehouse. So I was like, in all the years, you would hear, "Oh, Ghostbusters 3 is going to happen." "Oh, but it's
Right,
not."
right.
"Oh, it's going to happen, but it's not." I'm like, if they film and I see that crew down there, I don't care what is happening at work. I'm hopping in the elevator and I'm there.
Oh God, that'd be great.
So when
You'd just be like, I
casting,
went to jail, but I got in the movie
yeah.
somehow.
So I mean, when casting went out for this recent movie, the one that happened in 2016, and the
Yeah.
casting call went out, of course, New York they filmed in Boston, so I had to go drive 4 hours in the middle of the night to get to Boston just
Yeah.
to be in a small scene that I can't even see myself in.
Yeah, but you're still in it though, man.
But foot
That's all that
on
matters.
base, I got
Right.
paid.
Right.
Ghostbusters paid me, so it was a win-win situation. So either the movie would do great, and I'm like, hey, I'm in Ghostbusters, or if the movie
Right.
tanked, it's like, it sucked, but I got paid.
Right. It needs to turn into we's about to get paid.
We's about to get paid.
Can't like just disavow that whole thing. God, that whole phrase is stuck in my head forever.
Well, it was
And that's
hard
your
because
fault.
when I was driving, it was like literally like 11 p.m. at night. I'm driving on 95 headed towards Boston. I was by myself, so I probably said it in the car, but nobody noticed. So,
Right.
so if someone says we's about to get paid
Right.
and no one notices, does it make a sound?
Mm.
Does one get paid?
Well, if you're not observed, do you really exist?
You don't.
Mm. And then we turn to consciousness.
So-
But that's going to turn into a whole different conversation.
So if you know the location of Gotham City, you don't know the speed at which its population is rising. But if you know the population, you don't know exactly where Gotham City is.
God damn it.
The Gotham uncertainty principle. And there we go. We just lost half
Yeah.
our listeners.
No, that's fine. No, it's good. And maybe it'll pull more in. You never know.
It's like
That could have enticed some people.
we just want DeGrasse Tyson on people.
Right. Yeah. Oh God.
Imagine,
be,
if you will, a
right.
Gotham City
That's a
that exists
conversation.
in
that I would
multiple
just-
universes and multiple times.
He's so eloquent with his stuff, but he would just eviscerate any.
Consult the galactic calendar. Gotham City exists on January 1st at 12 p.m.
All right, so you're pulling in Cosmos now. You spent too much time watching that. I love that. I love that series.
It was a great series. I wish they would do
enjoyed it.
more.
Yeah, me too. They really need to deep dive back into that.
Oh man, my brain was hurting the other day. I got sucked into a Through the Wormhole
Mhm.
marathon with
Oh,
Morgan
I
Freeman.
love that show.
Morgan
It's been a
Freeman.
while.
I
Yeah.
could tune in just to listen to his tones, read the phone book.
You've got his cadence down, and I'm jealous. That's one that I'm not very good at. I can't do it. I can't do the Morgan Freeman voice. But yeah, that Through the Wormhole is
it made my brain hurt. And I like to think that I have a good grasp on a lot of these next level concepts, and even when they dumbed it down and explained it in something that was graspable, I was struggling.
really.
Yeah, some of the stuff was just, I don't know, maybe due to editing or time. I just felt like there was, I don't know. I can't even blame it on the show because I
Right.
have to take responsibility that, I was fed an hour of next level stuff that some of it I got and some was just like, what? What?
Oh no, what? But that's the but with that show, like I've been like, it seems like when I would watch the show, it would be weird because I watched it as it aired when they were new episodes.
Oh.
And it was always like in line with stuff that was kind of currently releasing.
Okay.
In like scientific news, and I was following a lot of, you get the whole idea of time not being linear, and then the whole
Right.
the quantum theory, and just I can't remember half the episodes, but just watching them, it was like it's weird because it was like I would almost see something on it within a month or so period of time, and then I would see the episode. So it was easier to digest. So it was almost like it was parallel with other information that was happening.
Yeah, I binged it one day, and it's just I melted my brain.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, binging it would definitely do it.
And I didn't mean to. I just meant to watch 1 or 2 episodes, but the episode would end, and then you hear him come on. It's like time, space. These concepts are as different as we think. It's like, whoa, hey, you reeled me in, Morgan. I'm in.
Right.
All he would have to do to keep me there for 24 hours was to say, Andy Dufresne. And then that would have been it.
Taking a drink of something, I almost spit take. Oh man!
And then there was one. It's just you die. It'll just be me talking on the radio back.
You just hear me. Send help! Send help!
I regret nothing.
Click, and then my microphone comes unplugged. We lost him. He's good. He's good. Oh, all right. Hold on. All right. Where did we deviated from? Oh yeah, we deviated from Gotham, didn't we?
We did well because we got on the intergalactic spaceship and we went into another dimension.
That's what it was. We went to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
We went to deGrasse time. Neil Degrassi Junior High. Is it
deGrasse? I can't remember.
Well, it's Degrassi Junior High, but it's Neil deGrasse.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you merge those two. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Neil Patrick Harris.
No, I never. I've heard of it, never watched it.
NPH?
Oh, wait, yeah, I know NPH, but were you talking about the Degrassi High thing?
I never watched Degrassi High.
Okay, I didn't either. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never seen it. I've heard of it.
Honestly, my only exposure to Degrassi Junior High is in the ravings of Kevin Smith, because he loves that show. It's a Canadian, like, Saved by the Bell, and he used to talk about it all the time, and I think he even directed a couple of episodes of the remake or whatever, but it's just it's a pop culture footnote in my head that I'm aware it exists. I know nothing about it, but I know who to attribute it to.
See, the thing is, like, I don't even know anything. I would have assumed it would have been like in the same timeline as like Saved by the Bell and stuff like that, but yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know of it, or like really what the details are of it. Now I'm slightly intrigued.
I don't know.
Oh, don't know, Captain. But all right, let's see if we should. I'm gonna try and get back to my train of thought on the Gotham stuff. I'm gonna flip it back to that.
Flip low.
Flippity. So, but the thing. All right, so I'm trying to figure out where I was with it. Okay, so the thing with Gotham, kind of just hard writing straight back into it. The thing that's good about it is the fact that they really have taken ideas from the comic books, even current, older. They've taken stuff from Batman the Animated Series. They've taken stuff from just things that they've created. The whole Barbara, I guess, which was his, Jim's interest in the first season, and now she's become this whole new character.
I got to tell you, I was complete. I didn't see any of that coming, because when the show starts, okay, here's this attractive woman. This is Jim Gordon's love interest. You figured, okay, she's going to be the victim, essentially. She's going to be the one that gets kidnapped all the time.
Right.
And she just went the other way, and now she is a force to be reckoned with. And I'm usually not the first person to warm up to quote-unquote strong female characters. But I got to give it to her. They've given her some good material, and she's crazy.
Oh yeah, she's batshit crazy.
She's crazy,
but in a great way. Like, it's like you just revel in the fact of the craziness.
Like, you don't mess with that. I forget what season or episode it was in, but she attacked the police station, and she's out in the alley, and Jim goes to confront her, and he's like, "You don't have to do this," and she's like, "Well," and like at that moment, you felt, all right, Jim, you're outmatched. You're going to die. Get out of there.
That was I think that was towards the end of season 2, like after she escaped from, or in middle of season 2, something with the Hugo Strange, and she escaped from the asylum.
Yeah, and she's coming for Jim.
Yeah, and I mean but God, Jim, he just can't stop like hooking up with crazy.
And now she's crazy because she injected herself with a virus.
Yep, the Tetch virus.
The what's her name?
Alice Tetch.
The doctor.
Oh yeah, Lee.
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember her real name, but I mean, and I think the character's name is Lee.
Lee. What's her full name? I feel like he says it all the time, and I just skip right over because when I see her, I see Firefly.
See, I knew she was in Firefly, but that was a show that I never watched. I saw the movie,
and most recently, Deadpool.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh,
But
Deadpool.
here's a little bit of other information. Her and the guy that Ben McKenzie that plays Gordon, they're actually engaged to be married or are married. I can't remember.
I think I heard that. Like I discovered that, and I think I instantly forgot it. But that's an interest. That's good because it's going to keep her on the show because every time you think she's written out, she keeps coming back.
As you pull her right back in.
And just like Barbara, all right, now she's effing crazy.
Yeah. All right, but again, just fantastic. All right, so I looked up the name Leah. It'd be Lee Tompkins.
Lee Tompkins, right? Dr. Tompkins.
Yeah. But like Barbara, she is. So just when her and Jerome were together at the beginning of season 2, when they did the whole that wasn't the Mad City, that was the Rise of the Villains, and they went on that terror thing. She very much played a Harley Quinn,
she kind of did
character to that Joker. I mean, she even carried a large mallet. And stuff like that. That was very all of that was nodding back to. It was like watching a live action Batman the Animated Series episode because that's where Harley Quinn came from.
Well, I thought. When the show first came on, and that first, I gotta say, the first episode of Gotham I didn't like because it pretty much introduced everybody in the Bat universe. I'm like, really? Right. Everyone within a 2-block radius? Like, oh, come on!
Right.
But you see Barbara, and she's with Gordon, so you're like, oh, they're going to get married. She's going to be Barbara Gordon, who becomes Batgirl.
Right. But that doesn't play right because Barbara Gordon is his daughter.
Right. And so I figured maybe this was creative license or, they need her to be grown up already. But yeah, total left turn. And I'm on IMDb looking at the episode list. Next week, Heroes Rise, Destiny Calling. It answers our question. The little summary says, spoiler, here it comes. With the deadly virus spreading throughout the city, the search for the antidote continues as Fish Mooney, the Riddler, and Penguin reveal plans of their own. Bruce meets Ra's al Ghul and completes his last task in order to fulfill his destiny, but realizes he can't let go of his past. Meanwhile, Gordon tries to win back Lee, and past alliances within Gotham City are broken, while new alliances are formed. So, I guess that answers our question. We're going to meet Ra's al Ghul next week.
Yes, and I do have another piece of information that I just found right before we started recording.
This just in
from comicbook.com. All right, so wow, I just went off the rails with that one. Felt kind of good though.
But send them the bill for that because we just mentioned them totally unsolicited. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's where I read it from, and I try. That's the thing with I try and give at least I try to give credit to wherever I find stuff and wherever their source is.
This is the annotated 3 Geek Senate.
Yeah, there you go. So, and you may not know this, but talking about another character, says things are about to get a bit crazy over on Gotham Pudding. If you're caught up with this superhero drama, then you should know Fox is tapping into DC Comics' iconic villain in a big way. Baddies like the Riddler and Penguin are focal points in the show, and it seems a few femme fatales are on their way. Season 3 finale of Gotham promises to tie in Catwoman to the show in a big way, and now one of the show stars has confirmed Harley Quinn will be added to the show sooner rather than later.
Wow.
We are going to see Harley Quinn in the season finale.
Wow.
Yeah. I did not expect that. It says right here in quotation marks. Let's see. David Mazouz, who plays Bruce on the show, says she is going to be in the finale. Stay tuned.
Wow. Well, I got to say, not like I was a huge fan of Suicide Squad, the movie that came out last year. It's okay. You can take it or leave it.
Right.
Margot Robbie was the breakout star of that.
Absolutely.
Holy hotness Batman.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. She did well. She embraced everything that was about Harley, and I mean,
I wish they could pull her in to the TV universe
right? Well,
to A, to tie it in, and B, just because damn, she was so good. Now, that's my first cinematic Harley Quinn.
mm-hmm.
So every Harley Quinn that comes after is going to be compared to her.
Right.
So damn.
And that's just the way it is for everybody. It's like everybody has their firsts, and then your first is going to kind of set the tone if you take an interest in the character, like we were talking about with James Bond.
Yeah.
And I mean, but that's the thing. So now you're going to compare everything to her. But like with the Flash, which you don't watch, but I'll touch on that for just a minute. But in the Flash Arrow universe on the CW, there was going to be an on TV Suicide Squad. They already had the makings of it. They had their TV version of Amanda Waller.
Yeah, Deadshot was on recently, right?
Yeah, they had their. Well, that was Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Okay.
But they had their. They did have a Deadshot. They had a Slade Wilson, and he didn't. I mean, not Slade Wilson. Oh my God, I just lost his name. Slade Wilson was dead. Deathstroke. Shit. What was Will Smith's character in Suicide Squad? That's
Deadshot.
The same character. Yeah, but what was?
I don't know.
Floyd Lawton. Floyd Lawton. That's Deadshot's alias. That's his real name. So they had a TV version of those characters. Well, at one point in the Arrow show, they were in the belly of Argus, and they were going down, and they walked past a door, and Harley Quinn was in there. They showed her, and you heard her talk, or you didn't actually see her face, but you heard her speak, and you heard her talk. But then then shortly after, they announced the Suicide Squad movie, and then they killed the entire TV version. And they literally killed off Amanda Waller in the Arrow Flash universe. But with the this Flashpoint thing that kind of rebooted it created a paradox, so it created some other things. They're now starting to deviate back towards a television version of the Suicide Squad again, which is kind of interesting.
Well, it seems like DC always has embraced a multiverse. It seems like that was always things that mixed.
That's
more
one of their
often
strong
than not.
points. Like just their the fact that they can embrace multiple universes. I mean, you've got just in their TV series, Supergirl exists on a different Earth than the Flash and Arrow does, but they mingle in a crossover episode because Supergirl has a Superman on that show, and he was just in the season finale.
I saw the commercial, and
he does a really good job as Superman.
That piqued my interest, and I saw Terry Hatcher, who was on Lois and
really
Clark,
good.
Is a villain in Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you get a chance, because it'll be all on Netflix in about another 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
Because they said within 10 days of a series finale on the CW shows, they'll be on Netflix.
That's cool.
So if you want, like Supergirl, I've been really impressed with, but I'm not going to go off into that because that'll be a one-sided thing of me saying a bunch of information and you'd be going,
I mean, it's funny. The only DC kind of show I watch other than Gotham is Powerless.
Yeah, I'm sad that got canned, man.
It got canned.
It got canned. There was 3 episodes left. They killed it. And they won't even air the last 3 episodes.
I was wondering where it went.
Yeah, it just disappeared. It was doing so well. Like, each episode kept getting better. I was really enjoying that show.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow,
I was bummed.
People, audience, I'm learning this right here now. So it's like...
This is real-time emotion, people.
First James Bond, now this?
Yeah, well, that's kind of a... Powerless is like 4 or 5 episodes so far. I think you could reel it back in for like a minute.
I mean, it was campy as hell, but I was enjoying it because it didn't try to be anything other than what it was.
Ooh. Well, that's the thing. It's like it just embraced the fun, but at the same time, I really enjoyed the opening credit for some reason.
Yeah,
like just having the old school comics, but then having them in there. But I mean, I enjoyed the credits. I enjoyed the music, and it kind of pulled you. It's kind of pulled you right into that little bit corner of the universe. But then the fact that they didn't have to shy away from saying Batman, Superman. They had the episode where Batman comes back to retrieve his Batarang that got lost
that was
in a
hysterical.
battle with the Joker.
And
the fact that
Alan Tudyk is dressed up as Robin because he's like, I could be Robin, I could be Robin.
But the fact that he's Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't have to shy away from anything, and it was such a fun. It was a fun show, and I was sad to. I'm sad to see it go. Honestly, it was the humor I think kept getting more adult tone. Like they really danced around where they were going in the first episode, but then like the second, third, fourth episode, like they were saying some things I was like kind of surprised to hear them use that level of joking and the tone.
Okay,
yeah, it was enjoyable.
I'm looking at an article referencing it. It says 2 episodes of the show's original 13-episode order still have yet to air, including a guest spot from TV's original Batman, Adam West.
Ugh.
Like that, like come on, if that had just aired, people would have gone nuts.
Yeah, I think because he was the voice of the narrator in the first episode, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know why they deviated or not deviated, but they I don't know why they canned it. I don't know why they killed it.
An appearance by Adam West is for DC akin to a Stan Lee cameo in the Marvel movies.
That's what they need. They need Adam West in every DC movie.
Yeah, let Seth MacFarlane lend him back to DC.
just every once in a while, you just see him like as the Cape Crusader in the background. You know, them trying to wrangle him back into the nursing home because he's lost his mind or something. You know, I would enjoy that.
See, that would be great. That would be acknowledging the camp in a way that allows us to have fun with it and still acknowledge it.
Well, have Burt Ward, come in as Robin at some point, or a version of it, him play Dick Grayson at some point. That would be ridiculous and fun. But that was the thing. Now I'm going to jump to something else. The Lego Batman movie was one of the few things that embraced every version of Batman. If you haven't seen Lego Batman,
I haven't yet.
Right now,
it was either you or my friend Greg. I think it was my friend Greg who, for years and years and years, one of our kind of cinematic pet peeves with the Burton Batman, that kind of 4-movie franchise, even though he didn't.
Did you say
past
Batman?
2? In the first one with Michael Keaton, Harvey Dent was played by Billy D. Williams.
Yep.
And then after that, he just kind of went away. But in the Lego Batman movie, didn't Billy D. Williams voice?
He did. He voiced Two-Face. He voiced, and apparently, because I was reading, Billy D. Williams was signed on for like 2 or 3 movies.
Yes.
So he was supposed to fully realize Harvey Dent as Two-Face in the Burton movie universe, but
Two-Face
it just never happened.
Works every time.
But as long as he's got a Colt 45. I mean,
oh my God!
But he did. He voiced it. But that was the thing. So the Batman in the Lego Batman movie he was the culmination of every Batman that you've seen exist. That was this Batman. It wasn't different versions of those Batman. He was all of those Batman.
I just think it's funny that
he was like even that weird phase he went through in the 60s.
Yes,
they referred to that in the movie, and and he actually brings in the Bat Shark repellent in the movie.
That's awesome.
But I mean, it's like I think they refer to the Schumacher Batman. Right. I think, but I mean, they really do. All of it was him.
I just love that that Will Arnett is the voice of Batman, and he's just so like. The character from the Lego movies, like Batman, is so self-centered, and it's about him. And interestingly enough, I mean, there's so much star voice power in that movie. Like you have Ralph Fiennes playing Alfred, but ironically, Voldemort is in the movie, voiced by Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, I know. It's so ridiculous. It's like, why wouldn't he voice Voldemort? I mean, you have Voldemort right there.
Now, I didn't see the movie, but did Alfred and Voldemort share the screen so they could at least look at each other like, hey, what?
I can't 100% remember.
What's with this?
It was one of those movies, like, I kid you not. I went by myself. I was on a vacation. I took a staycation in February, and I was like, I'm going to go to the theater and I'm going to see some movies. It's been a while. I'm sitting in there as me and like 2 other people in that theater. And I'm sitting there. If you would have taken a picture of me at any point watching that movie, I would look like a grinning idiot from beginning to end. I'm just sitting there like a little kid, just with this stupid grin on my face, watching the movie. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is the best Batman movie ever. And I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Once you see, but they didn't have to shy away from anything in the Warner Brothers universe. So suddenly you have Sauron from Lord of the Rings show up as the all-seeing eye in the tower.
Oh my god!
And then you have the Kraken from Clash of the Titans, the original Clash of the Titans.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, take the time, see it. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee that.
It took me a while to warm up to the original Lego Movie, but now it's if it's on, I'll watch it. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this coming out on Blu-ray so I can pick it up, but it isn't out yet.
All right.
So aggravating. All right. We really we've digressed. All right, hold on. So where did we leave off? All right, we left off on Gotham. Talking about we were talking about Harley Quinn coming in the season finale. We were talking about the season finale. Okay, that's where I kind of where we're at leading to. But so I watched the episode 19, episode 20. What was the one that just was on?
The one that was just on, I think, was 20.
Okay, so yeah, I did watch that one, and they were. I saw the preview for next week's episode, and just the fact so this one ended, and you have all of these villains together. Suddenly you have the Riddler, and you have Penguin in the same room,
and they're on two sides. It's like they're going to rumble,
right? And they kind of are, but now suddenly Fish Mooney appears out of nowhere, and she's been almost absent completely from season 3, and now she's there. And now they have this whole...
I'm annoyed to see her. Like, normally I'm just like, didn't you die? But when I saw her come back, I'm like, ooh, okay. This throws a wrench in the works. You're not in the comics. I don't know what your deal is. Good, you'll shake some things up, and even though you've already died twice or how many times or whatever, you keep coming back.
I think it was just once that she died, but she just keeps getting...
disposed.
locked away, or she'll be, kept, indisposed, whatever. But I mean, just to see her kind of appear, I wasn't expecting it. Just to see her walk in, I mean, we just, kind of disposed of the Court of Owls almost, which, for them to use that in the season, I thought. See, that's another thing, not to go far off, but for them to bring the Court of Owls into this. That is something that just came into the comic books when the New 52 launched back in 2011. So the Court of Owls is fairly new. That was Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo that created the Court of Owls.
See, I feel like they've been hinting them, secret society, secret. We all have to find out who they are. Oh, but wait a minute, they're all dead. Okay, never mind.
Right, and now
forget
they
that.
Killed them off. But it's like that's the thing. It's like they were basically this kind of like Sauron, the all-seeing eye. They were the man behind the curtain and everything that happened in Gotham, but. Now, in one fell swoop, you have this guy that just went, all right, kill them all, and then they're all dead. And
they were instrumental in the murdering of the Waynes. Jim's father was there, his brother, his uncle was there.
Which is weird, because, that deviated from the comics, because what was it, Joe Cool or something like that originally killed the Waynes?
Joe Cool.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Isn't Snoopy
no,
Joe Cool?
Joe Chill.
Joe Cool.
Yeah,
that's Snoopy.
It was something like Chill or something like that.
Yeah, Joe Chill.
Remember. Yeah. So, but just to have that, but it's weird because in one move they've merged like some classic characters with current story arcs in the comic books, and then now they've gone back to another big baddie, and we're going to see Ra's al Ghul. So, they're doing a really good job of ramping it up, but I almost feel like going into season 4, it almost feels like we need to age Bruce Wayne. It feels like it's on the precipice of him becoming Batman, but
it really does.
We're still years off.
This is pretty much merging with Batman Begins, where it's like, okay, hey, you got to fulfill your destiny. We got to let Gotham end. The virus, the Alice Tetch virus is kind of like the carcinogen you saw the Scarecrow using in Batman Begins. We got Ra's al Ghul on the horizon, this outside force that is judging them, the city from afar. And here we have a young Bruce Wayne. So, unfortunately, we've got all these villains about to do a West Side Story on each other. That, if they didn't have that, they could go in between seasons and say, like, 2 years has passed or 4 years has passed and things have gotten worse.
Right.
I mean, they still can do a time jump if they want to, but...
Well, how they aged Ivy Pepper, but, that would really screw things up for Bruce Wayne's, like, story, his story. I mean, you can't just age the character like they did Poison Ivy. But, I mean, now all of these characters are, like, they weren't established. Like, they came into being because of the existence of Batman. Like, Batman created the villain. It was kind of like this double-edged sword. You have villains, but then you have Batman, and then everybody keeps leveling their game up. And kind of like they did in The Dark Knight. They were talking about how or just in the Nolan verse, it's like just because Batman exists, now he's created this need for these other supervillains. So it's like now you've got supervillains with no superhero.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And there's so many more of them. And pretty much you just have Super Cop Jim Gordon, who is kind of on again, off again. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go after my girl. I'm not a cop anymore, but I'm a cop, but I'm a cop, and I'm not going to work with the cops, but I'm working with the cops. And there's very much a back and forth, shit or get off the pot type.
Right. And then now that he's injected himself with the virus, it's like is his desire to be the savior of Gotham.
Well, no, I mean,
what is his desire?
I honestly didn't think he would do that. I figured he would get saved at the last minute. But all right, now that Jim Gordon has injected himself with the virus, now there has to be a cure. If not next week, then probably by episode 1 of the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like, then where's that going to go? It's like, how far are they going to jump? Because and if you watch the preview for next week's, it's going to be a 2-hour finale. It's not 2 separate episodes, or it's not 2 weeks. It's like we're getting both episodes. Yep. It's going to be like a movie. Yep. You see, Selena Kyle. She's got a whip. She's got a Catwoman outfit, and she cracks the whip. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, they're leveling up, man. It's like it feels like we're going to need like a Batman Jr. or
Bat Junior.
Yeah, we're gonna get a young Batman, which is just gonna. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, I would like to see. Nothing would be cooler than to have an on TV like not gritty, but just a Batman in that universe.
I feel like they can't do it. It's like
they can't.
It's gonna be like soon. It's gonna be like Smallville. Like
you're never going to see him in the suit.
Yeah,
until the very
going up to it. But nope.
Yeah.
Because
10
again,
years of waiting.
This is the Jim Gordon story essentially.
Right.
So it can't like.
But they're so much making it Bruce Wayne though. I mean, they're really like after season 1, they really kind of went, we're kind of going to stick with the Jim Gordon thing.
Not to mention the actor. It's like, all right, if they want to fast forward in time and go full Batman. Hey, the kid's great and he's done a great job as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, no, we won't be able to continue with that particular actor.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, do we jump forward years? Does it come back and something happen, and are we going to jump forward years? Between season 3 and 4, are we going to move forward? Like, so what is he, like 15, 16? But Batman doesn't come into being until he's in his, mid-20s?
And doesn't he have to... I mean, they're kind of... With this past episode or 2 where he's been kidnapped, they're addressing those foreign years of martial arts training and all that stuff. So it's like, oh... Well, I mean, they're condensing it almost too much.
Yeah, it is. It really feels like they're kind of smashing it together. But so like you've got him...
I'm waiting.
Harley Quinn.
If they do it... If they do it next week when Ra's al Ghul comes, and if he implants the thing in his mind where like, you need to be a symbol, you need to, be...
Right. But are they going to do that, or are they going to do it like he's kind of like this mastermind, and then there's going to be a break, and then Bruce isn't going to fall for, his trick?
I mean, how does the bat come about? Because there have been certain episodes where certain things have happened and you see it, they focus on Bruce, and through the directing of the episode, you see especially when he watches Azrael fighting, it's like,
oh yeah,
in that moment, Batman just was born.
And there's been a couple of you see him see the movement, and he's like building what he wants to see as Batman. He's got the guy in the suit, he's got the guy pulling the moves and stuff like that. But then there was a couple of moments where like he'll say something, and he's basically like I'm what Gotham needs, or something about bringing justice, and I'm like, oh, that's very Batman.
Oh, it's total Batman.
Yeah,
also now we've got Alfred as kind of a badass. He's never been as badass.
It depended on what version of the comics you got to see. Like there were some stories, and he was SAS.
Oh, really?
And he was trained military. He was like James Bond-esque.
Well, I guess I'm aware of so many multiverse, alternate universe, one-shot Batman stories, like Old West Batman, and all the different Batmans that you can introduce an Alfred character to. I guess it would make sense that one of them would be that way. But as far as cinematically, we've seen the older, kind of more decrepit. We've seen Butler Alfred, and we've seen mechanic Alfred.
Right. But we've never seen Action Alfred.
Action Alfred.
Action Alfred. He's got a kung fu grip.
He's got.
But just the last thing I'm just trying to figure out, just kind of where this is going to end off at with Harley Quinn, and they're saying she's going to be in the finale. Harley Quinn was Dr. Harleen Quinzel. She was a psychiatrist. She was created by the Joker, because she fell in love with the Joker, kind of that whole what is that? I can't remember.
The Smilex.
Well, I'm trying to remember what the condition is called, where you fall in love with your
Oh,
captor.
That's Stockholm
syndrome. Where and then it was an abusive relationship, and she was kind of a victim of abuse. But Harley Quinn happened over a long period of time. But
if we see her next week, she very well could be Dr. Quinzel, and then the virus, the Alice Tetch virus, turns her, and maybe she opts to not get the cure, and she just stays as this. And if you look at Lee, every woman who gets this is kind of like it's almost like in id thing where it brings out.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, real quick.
Unless
I'm trying to think, because there was something I'd read earlier this season that. What's her name? Hold on. I need to switch over to IMDb real quick. Erin Richards, that plays Barbara.
Barbara Kane. Mm-hmm.
Right. She, there was talks of her becoming a Harley Quinn type character. I'm wondering what this Tetch virus is going to do to all of these people.
Yeah,
maybe it creates a psychic break in her, and she becomes.
Yeah, we're seeing
Quinn.
The good people turn bad because of the virus. What if the bad people get infected? Do they become even worse, or what happens to them?
Well, it's kind of like what they want most, almost what they design. It's not the design. I'm starting to merge things. I watched the show Lucifer, and he does a thing where
Lucifer.
He wants to know their desires.
What do you desire?
Yeah, I like that show. I really enjoy that show.
And that one, the season finale just ended.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me. But everything
it ended. But I'm still very much on board.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. It's like this whole season was leading up, and it kind of. Then when it came back from the break, it kind of took a minute to kind of come back.
The second half of Lucifer's season was so, and it very got I don't want to say soap opera-y, but it got away from the cases. Mm-hmm. But the final scene in the last episode, you're like, what? Huh?
I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed the character God Johnson when he thought he was dead. I really enjoyed that character. You look at the guy and you go like, if God was a man on Earth, that's what he would look like.
Well, that actor most recently has also been on Supernatural playing Cain, one of the Dukes of Hell.
Okay.
So Cain
I thought you were going to say the Dukes of Hazzard. I was
Dukes of the Dukes of Hazzard.
I did not see that turn.
Because Boss Hogg becomes a demon, and he just kind of terrorizes the Duke boys in the afterlife.
Where is it?
Churrasco pico train.
Churrasco pico train. Oh hell! All right, I think we've ran that one into the ground.
We did. We did.
Wait until next week and see how this all turns out.
And that's the thing with Batman, Gotham, all the characters. This is just actually this is the only time I could really dip my toe into DC geek nerdery. So it was cool to be able to come adjacent to, because you want to talk Marvel, I'll talk all day.
Yeah, because that's another thing.
Cool.
We'll have to touch on another one, because I'm going to tell you, the last 5 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't know what they did, but they changed something about it, and damn, it leveled up. Like, when they came back from the break, I mean, when, what's his name? When they were in the Hydraverse.
Yeah, the Matrix, the evil Matrix.
Yeah, and what's his name was,
Fitz?
Nope, the head of, not him, but when he was actually the Patriot.
Yes.
Like, man, when he went down, I'm sitting here by myself watching TV, and he went down, and it just sucked me into the episode. And next thing, I'm over here with tears rolling down my face. I was like, "What's going on with this show, man?" All right, I'm good.
Once they had that, like, after Ghost Rider was the first half of the season. Then they had the LMK second half.
LMD.
LMD. You're like, okay,
right.
All right, we got robots. We got Hydra. Agents of Hydra. What's this?
Yeah. And those last 5 episodes, man, were so good.
They were
so good. But we'll have to touch on this one when we get Mr. Bradford back in.
Yeah.
Because he'll want to definitely dive into this conversation.
Yeah, he'll cry if we talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's not part of it.
Yeah, I know.
It'll make Paul sad.
Happen. But one thing I do have to look forward to this week, I do have tickets to see Wonder Woman first showing on Thursday, and
that looks good.
The reviews look really, and I've been saying it. I was like, I think Wonder Woman's going to be the thing that's going to pull DC out, and I'll be damned. Last night, right after midnight, all the reviews came up, and they're looking really positive. So,
but I mean,
crossed.
Aside from not Deborah Winger, God, I can't remember her name. TV Wonder Woman.
Oh my God!
Please,
hold on.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, she's on Supergirl.
Linda Carter.
Holy shit!
Aside from Linda Carter, I mean, there's really nothing to compare Wonder Woman to. So they have free reign to just go badass and be whatever she needs to be.
And like I said before, like where you all are a little bit different with that. I'm a big fan of women characters and kick-ass characters and stuff like that. I just like characters that are good and compelling in general. And I was excited to see her kind of get some screen time, but it's just a disservice because Warner Brothers haven't been pushing the advertisement on this at all. Like I think that they've been scared that nobody would be interested in a woman lead, and I think they're getting ready to be proved really. See,
I don't
really
understand
wrong.
that because I feel like from our perspective, it's always about changing the genders of established characters into women. It's like, well, you have an amazing female character already pre-made. Use her.
And nobody else has done it. Not Marvel hasn't had a female lead.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a Black Widow movie. There's not going to be.
You will have a Captain Marvel movie, which is basically Marvel's. That's Carol
Danvers.
Yeah, she is. You know what? Oddly enough, and I've said this before, Supergirl's name is Kara Danvers, and they're both very much Supergirl, Superman-esque, and it's almost the same character. So it's like, wow.
Well,
it's just a
historically
replication.
You've seen. And I hate to say it, usually it's Marvel that comes second. DC will make a character, Marvel will come out with a very similar character.
Deadpool, Deathstroke, they look a lot alike.
Hawkeye is a Green Arrow.
Right.
We have our guy who shoots bows, we have our guy who's kind of dark, and we have our guy who's Boy Scout.
I'm still trying to figure out who Marvel's Apache Chief is, though. I can't quite figure that one out.
Warpath.
Right. Oh, okay.
From X-Force. Apache Chief.
I grow big for just a moment.
I grow big, and then after I get small, and I take nap.
Oh man! All right, so these are all conversations for future times because I'm pretty sure we could just ride this off into the sunset.
Totally. And meanwhile, at the temple, what is it, Temple of Doom? What was the place that they lived? All the bad guys lived in the swamp. Meanwhile,
the Legion of Doom.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it out. Yeah, Legion of Doom, which, by the way, was on Legends of Tomorrow, which you all need to watch.
Was it?
All right. Yep, Legion of Doom. They brought him in. Not everybody, but they did have the Legion of Doom. There was a Legion of Doom episode.
Was there Solomon Grundy?
No, there was no Solomon Grundy.
Bizarro Superman?
There was a Reverse Flash. There was a... oh my God, Reverse Flash.
So Bizarro Superman?
Malcolm Merlin, which was the Dark Archer. And then you had... Oh, he was a magician.
How about Manta Ray?
Damien Dark. And they actually they got a hold of the Spear of Destiny, and then they rewrote reality the way that they seemed fit, where they were in charge.
What about Black Manta?
It's on Netflix now, season 2. You should give it a chance.
Okay.
Anyway.
I watched the first few episodes of that show, and
season 2 again. It's another show where season 2 did a flip. And they improved. It got better.
Really? Because I was like, hey, it's those guys from Prison Break. Hey, it's both of those guys from Prison Break, and they're both
season 2. Just embrace the camp of comic. And I'm telling you, if you just embrace comic book stuff for what it is, and just don't apologize for it, just do it. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And again, I was thrown off by Superman playing some Atom guy. It was hard for me.
But he does a good job at it.
He did.
He does a good job. I enjoy Ray Palmer. I enjoy the Atom on the show. He very much. I think he does a great job as him.
Okay. And with that, we're gonna pull from the DC verse and take a plane and so actually we're gonna do a DeGrasse Tyson, and we're going to get into our ship, and we're going to fly above Gotham and above the Earth and into the universe. And back down to the Senate floor. And with that, this closes the latest installment of 3 Geek Senate. For more geek nerdery, make sure you search for 3 Geek Senate on iTunes or your favorite podcast app.
Or you can follow us on social media. Simply follow at 3 Geek Senate. That's the number, 3 Geek Senate, whether it's your Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
And we need you to go to iTunes and please subscribe. It's free. We need you to give us a review, 5 stars if you could, and share with your friends and let us know what you think.
My name is Brian J. Cano.
My name is Paul Bradford.
And I'm Robert Bukszar.
And we will see you next time on the Senate floor. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.